this is an important occasion this evening because what it illustrates is how the ministry, especially MeitY, through the India AI mission and through Bhashini, is building an increasingly collaborative way of developing technology for use across the country. We have built these open platforms. Bhashini basically represents a platform where there's a collection of models which can be used, and then we are identifying use cases where we are getting the youth of this country and all others to work together to actually realize benefits from using advanced technology for the people. Ultimately, in India, one of the most effective ways of reaching out and one of the most effective ways of ensuring that people at large are able to use devices, use the internet, and use mechanisms to meet what their requirements are, the best way of doing it is giving primacy to voice-based use of compute capacities. And not everybody is going to be able to felicitously type or access on a laptop or on a desktop system or even on the phone to be able to type in all the details that you want, whereas they would find it much easier to speak what their requirements are. And having this voice-to-voice ability to translate between different languages, the ability to do a voice-to-text application can make a huge difference in ensuring universal access to a range of facilities, even in a digital environment. Because otherwise, for a very large segment of India's population, the digital environment becomes something that they are excluded from, that they are not part of. And this is one of the most effective ways of ensuring inclusion and ensuring that whatever we do on a digital basis is inclusive to everybody that actually needs these services. So to that extent, I think today the launch of these initiatives and these hackathons is something which will make a significant difference across a range of applications which we can use. The other thing, of course, is that MeitY also believes that we need to engage in all of these technology areas with a range of stakeholders. We work for other ministries, we work for other state governments, we work with the community at large, and therefore the ability to do this as a hackathon and bring in people to work with us to take this entire exercise forward is very important. And that's precisely how the India AI mission itself has been designed. All of the various verticals of the India AI mission have been designed on that basis and would operate on that basis, where to a great extent there is not just contribution, but there's also considerable accessibility. People are able to use the platform in order to access whatever resources they need. The AI Kosh platform, which has been created, will enable you to access compute, will enable you to access various models which are available there, including the Bhashini models. It'll enable you to also see what kind of applications are available and what can be utilized. Data sets will be made available. So each one of these elements is something that we are working together to do this. The other part of Bhashini, and which is truly challenging, and it's an India challenge which then sets us as an example for the rest of the world, and which is one reason why so many countries are interested in what we are doing here, is the number of languages that we have to contend with. It is not just the 22 languages in the 7th schedule which we are working with, and in the 8th schedule which we are working with and which we are bringing into this framework. Today you heard from the CEO of Bhashini that a language which is much less used nowadays, Kathi, is also to be brought into this entire framework. Likewise, there are many dialects spoken across different parts of India. There are many of those elements also which we need to work with in order to make sure that people of the country are able to continue to use languages which might otherwise go into disuse. After all, this is a matter of culture, and preserving our own cultures is extremely important. And in that sense, if we can find a technological tool by which we are able to also preserve languages before they die out, ensure that people continue to be able to speak in that language, understand the language, that in itself, and document in various forms and preserve it both in its spoken form and in its written form, that in itself becomes an important contribution we can make. And I think in that sense, the task that Bhashini has taken up is huge. And collecting all of these voice samples, collecting all of this material is always going to be a challenge. There are a number of institutions we work with, different IITs, other agencies that we work with, who are constantly on this work. And that is the other interesting way in which, in a sense, there is a potential for actually offering employment down even at the lowest level in terms of collecting this data, collecting the samples, annotating it, putting it together, making sure that it can be used in a productive way, and to the extent that even actually getting people to converse in their native languages, recording many of those conversations and putting it together itself is a way in which we give back to society, and there is some compensation which is paid in that format. So this is clearly, in my view, a critical and important program which goes on. This is an ongoing program, and sometimes we don't give it the kind of profile that it really requires, which needs to catch the public eye. And therefore, I compliment the CEO Bhashini and the CEO of the AI mission, Shri Abhishek Singh, for having organized this event today in the presence of so many of you, so that it actually gains the kind of profile that it really needs to. It needs to have the visibility, and people need to understand what is happening in this space. Very often, the Prime Minister actually tells us that it's important not only to reform, transform, and perform, but it's also important to inform. So this is something, an occasion of this nature truly enables us also to inform all of you, and through this event, a much wider cross-section of the kind of activities which are being undertaken and how they could benefit a larger cross-section of people. So thank you once again for attending this event in such numbers. It's good to see that there's not even enough space for all of you to sit. So in that sense, it's a packed auditorium. Maybe we should have planned for a larger one, but it's good to have all of you, and I'm sure your support will ensure the ongoing success of the Bhashini program. Thank you.